This story is Gwekochigewin, or Doing Things the Right Way, about leadership and governance. Madeline Island is the largest of the 12 Apostle Islands. It is situated in Lake Superior off northern Wisconsin. It is the final stopping place of the Anishinaabe-Ojibwe migration westward, and it evolved into the spiritual and political center for the tribe, where gatherings and councils took place. Later, it became the place where treaties were signed with the Americans.
So this, to me, is a very, very sacred and important place. We're at the center of the North American continent, and you look at all the lakes. It's the heart of North America, and this is where the lifeblood of our mother here comes from.
Misa Jagonigig Gaye Guizes Mada de Siwad. Garnija Chiwad o Mishom Sinaya Anishinabeg Ugiminawa ino Guizesan Gichigash Kabijigan Ji Iju Duwad Anishinabema Nigig Gaye Guizes Gimeme Mashku Jiwag Bimebetuad Iwe Gichigash Kabijigan Megwa bimemo yawad nijwaching gi no wishkawag. Enda soon nagishkawad gi uzesan ogi mawa windo magun inu manitun. Anin anyway nijwaching nane kagin the dwa ekaduag. Zagatuyan gi kendamawin, meje ane liba kwawin. Gi kendaman zagi etewin, mi wenji jimeno iya wendi yang. Mananendan gakinagego manetuga gi ojitud. Zungidean ina sametimang janginiming. Debewen kiga onji zungide. The basen in the zuin, minawaji manitu wa dejan. Debewen biminja aman. Mi ji anigi kendaman onawen. Mi nigo wizi wanan.
Our people lived as independent, self-governing nations connected through a common language, religion, and culture for hundreds of years before the first European came to the Great Lakes region of North America. We were sovereign nations from the beginning.
In its essence, sovereignty means the power of self-government, the power to govern one's people in a way that conforms with the needs and the desires of a given people. Tribal people, in order to be self-governing and to understand who they are in relation to all the other native peoples, need to retain their cultural identity, and that includes language, which is the linchpin of sovereignty. It includes ceremonies, it includes the values, it includes whatever distinguishes that indigenous people from another group. Because the people that knows who they are and that knows their connection to the land that they emerge from, to the fish that they need to spear as part of their ceremonial life ways. That is a people, that is a nation, and they are someone who are unique in the world. It's self-governance, but it's self-governance that is rooted in or overarched by cultural integrity and dignity.
The cultural identity of Ojibwe individuals was based on the clan of their father, which was inherited at birth and remained until death. The clans or dodems were viewed as a gift from the Creator that originated in the spirit world and are represented by the characteristics of their animal counterparts in the physical world. Clan members could not marry within their own clan and had specific roles to carry out in the community.
My clan were considered the orators, the speakers, leaders, not necessarily chiefs, but a person who would stand before the group and let the people know what's on someone's mind. If you don't feel comfortable getting in front of a group and speaking about something, you would come and give my clan a gift, tell what's in your heart, and then a person from my clan would speak before the group and let the people know what is your concern. The Bear Clan was there to maintain order. If anyone gets out of hand, Bear Clan's going to be there to maintain order. And if there's a Bear Clan man around, you never got a line because you knew that they were there, and you just didn't mess with anything or anyone when there's a Bear Clan person around. Now, the Martin Clan is if we have a dispute and we can't settle it and there's no resolution to it, I'll go over to the Martin Clan and give them a gift. And once you know that I've given that gift to the Martin Clan, you better take heed. Because if I give them to deal with it, those are our warriors. And they will settle that dispute right now. And those Martin Clan women, well, are generally what are referred to as the true peacemakers. They will settle the disputes. And they're not going to pick up a club and go hit you over the head. Their Martin Clan man might do that. But they'll go out and they'll resolve something really quick. That's our warrior clan.
The Yogichida were those warriors that went out and protected the village. They were the men that showed in their actions the bravery and the fortitude and the ability to protect the people. They were the Yogichida. They held a high rank among the peoples, among the different bands of Anishinaabe.
Each and every clan had a head representative, a man and a woman. And there were definite laws that were given via the clan system. And the way that it worked and the way decisions were reached is that all decisions had to be total consent.
My knowledge of the past from the standpoint of how villages made decisions, how bands made decisions, is discussions amongst the members within the adult membership of issues that they was facing as a community. And as a result of that, the consensus was being built that supported decisions that were being made. So consensus building has always been a part of it.
And so the clan system, not only did it deliver skills, characteristics, tendencies in that manner, but it gave pattern, it gave reason, it gave logic to the people, and then became the basis for government, for governing ourselves.
Elders were the most highly respected individuals in the clans and the community. The wisdom of the elders was held in the highest regard.
It's something that is ingrained in all of us, and we all know that we must go speak to the elders. And when we ask them properly, when we give them tobacco and ask them to teach us, they do.
The most important aspect of decision-making for a leader was considering how each decision would impact 7 generations in the future.
In all deliberations that are before you as a leader, you first have to set aside your own interests in that decision. Then you have to set aside the interests of your family. And then all of the other people who are in your community. And when you do that, he said, you create a space. And he says, in that space, it's like a path, he said, that you create. And if you look down that path, and if you look really hard, you'll see a little baby. That little baby is the future. And it's 7 generations in the future. As a leader, you must weigh the decision that's before you as to its impacts it will have on that little baby. If it's good for that little baby, then it's going to be good for everything else.
Today, there are 19 federally recognized sovereign Ojibwe bands in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Minnesota. These bands were established based on the 1934 Wheeler-Howard Act model and operate autonomously with individual government-to-government relations with state and federal authorities. Tribal leaders are elected by members of the tribe, and each band governs within the framework of a constitution with their own individual approach to the organization of decision-making.
We developed what you call a separation of powers, and separation of powers actually is patterned after the United States. And the United States pattern theirs after the Iroquois nation. So it's an Indian concept.
They created the executive branch, in which the tribal chairman, through the Reservation Business Committee, obtained the title of chief executive. They created the legislative branch, which is basically equivalent to your Senate, Congress, in which they have the authority or power to create laws of the band. And the judicial branch, of course, interprets that law, on behalf or for the benefit of our band members.
They call us special interest groups, minority groups, whatever it is. But, we are a government. We do have laws, and we're not special interest. We're the first people on this continent that self-governed our nations.
Tribes want the right to be able to do things from an economic standpoint, a political standpoint, a cultural standpoint, that follow the needs and the desires of their people. And so any action by the federal government or the state to interfere or impinge on the right of a tribe to act as a sovereign is deemed as a real threat.
Indians pay federal taxes, but if they live on a reservation, they work there, they don't pay state taxes. And one thing that's not discussed very much is how much money goes into the state from payroll taxes of the casinos, and that's a pretty considerable amount.
But there are some things we have in common with cities, such as holding our own elections, enforcing our own laws, and promoting our own economic growth. We have jurisdiction over our own area with our own police force.
You have enough information.
We are a government.
The tribes now administer self-determination contracts separately for law enforcement, social services, and natural resources. As a result of the Self-Governance Demonstration Project of 1988, Ojibwe tribal governments can now make compacts with the United States government to distribute funds in their own communities as they see fit.
And I first sat on the bench as an associate judge in '91, and and became chief judge shortly after that. Our tribe is a sovereign nation, and first and foremost, I guess I'm what you would call a sovereign warrior. I'm going to defend our sovereignty and our right to have a tribal council that's going to establish laws that are going to be enforced. And we're going to have a court where the people can come to be a place where peace can be restored. So we have adopted state law in our court. At the same time, we also have our own ordinances and laws. We were originally started in order for the Voight Agreement to begin prosecuting natural resource cases. And to this day, we're still hearing natural resource cases. Any member that is cited anywhere in the ceded territory, any member of our tribe, will be brought into this court. And the citation will be heard here. Our police department is a valid police department and can issue citations, and whether it's a violation of a state law or a tribal law. Now we're enforcing criminal matters here now. We started doing traffic cases, family court, and the more we went, the more jurisdiction we start assuming. Once we entered into an agreement with the county and signed a compact agreement with the county, that's when we became very, very effective. We just recently took over the child support and paternity cases of Vilas County. So we've helped out the county. Our elders charge me first to restore peace, and that's what I'm going to do. Any elder is a peacemaker, and I'll go consult the elders at any time. But we have two people, George Brown and Joe Chosa, who are trained peacemakers. Any person that comes into this court can choose peacemaking as an alternative to having a trial. A lot of people don't realize that. You know, you get cited for speeding, you come in here and ask for peacemakers to resolve it. And once you choose them, you know, stay with it. You can't come back and say, I think I'll, go with your way instead. It doesn't work that way. I have warrants issued for people who have not complied with conditions of the peacemakers. And so it's a valid option in our court. That's, I guess, how we differ from state court. So if you can give them something that is part of the culture and reestablish a sense of pride in being Ojibwe, they'll walk out of here, and maybe that process will have begun so that peace can be restored.
The reality is that the government of the people is the people. That is where the power is with the people. And the leaders of the people are not all in government. They are all over. You have your language teachers. They are the keepers of culture. You have your drum societies. They are the keepers of our religions. Our Meday societies, the keeping of our healing traditions. Your educators who keep the continuity.
A rice chief is a person that goes out into the lakes and checks the rice beds to find if the rice is ripe enough to pick. They have a lot of influence on the decision making. We have at least 4 of them in our community. So they play a vital role as rice chiefs.
Women that are women veterans are known to be Ogechida. They earn their right because of being in the service. And there are leaders too. Ikwe today are in a lot of different roles on the reservation. Tribal council, lawyers, teachers.
Anishinaabekwe, Ojibwe women continue their traditional roles in the decision-making process within families, clans, and communities.
Now, when I go to national meetings, I see a lot of women leaders now elected to their position by their own right. And I think because we get things done, that's what people see in us.
Of our nations, and as such, all responsibilities of our nation or all issues of our nation are of concern to Indian women. Elders continue to be highly respected and take on leadership roles in their communities.
To take on a role of leadership today is probably one of the most difficult tasks that any individual could undertake. Some folks may view that being in a leadership position is, exciting, wonderful, but that's, there's so much pressure today with everything.
There's no book. When you get elected to the Tribal Council, you open up a book and it says Tribal Council 101 or Tribal Chairman 105. There's nothing like that. Tribal councils today are dealing with all of the complexities that the city governments are dealing with, that state governments are dealing with. Not enough money, too many problems. It's a whole range of issues.
So it's really tough to be an Indian today, and tougher to be an Indian leader because of that. Because, today we have to wear many hats. When we sit, we have to listen to our people. We're supposed to be good listeners, and they expect us to be good stewards, good delegators, all of these things.
What you want to have in leadership is the ability to step down and not have to worry whether you have a job within your own community. If I run for the election and you run for the election, if you win, does that mean that I can't be employed with the tribe that I work for in another capacity because they might be afraid of the knowledge and the wealth of information that you've gathered for 25 years? It's a sad day when we have to look at that in our own community, that you have to run, or those that have supported you in the past will all be taken out of office as a result of a change of leadership. If that happens, then I think I've failed. But that's the dilemma you face within the community. It's almost like it's an all or nothing, win or lose.
Many of our people coming back from places like Detroit, Flint, bringing back those values that are there, they've adapted that adversarial system well, and rather than being adversarial, we need to, move forward in a consensus manner. We need to move forward in trying to be unified as one. Our leadership in the past had said that, if we're kept separated, we can be defeated easy. If we unite, come together, it's difficult to take what is ours away.